Have you ever poured your heart and soul into something online? Maybe it's a new business idea or a blog you're passionate about, maybe a community project, and you've built this amazing thing, but then you hit that wall. How do you actually get people to see it? How do you get visitors, get eyes on your website? Because the digital world, well, it's huge, overwhelming sometimes. And visibility, that's everything. Without it, you're just sort of shouting into the void. Okay, so let's unpack this. Today, we are diving deep. We're talking about generating traffic. That's the jargon, right? Visitors, people coming to your website. Now, a lot of people immediately think, okay, paid ads, Google ads, Facebook boosts, all that stuff. And yeah, those exist. But today we're focusing entirely on something else, something powerful, maybe a bit underused, the world of free web traffic. Getting those visitors without opening your wallet. It's about being smart, really strategic, not just throwing money at the problem. Unlocking that digital floodgate, basically.
Exactly. That's the mission for this deep dive. And what's really interesting here, I think, is that core problem so many people face online, from, solo bloggers to big companies. How do you promote effectively without breaking the bank on every single click or view? Our main source today, this document, Free Web Traffic Made Simple.pdf, it nails this issue. It says, look, individual paid methods might seem cheap, but when you try to pay for every method of website promotion one uses, suddenly it all adds up. It becomes relatively expensive fast. So our goal here is to pull out the really critical stuff from this source, show you how businesses, individuals right now, are getting tons of visitors without spending a dime on ads. We're talking practical things, proven techniques, stuff you can actually use.
Right. And we kind of split this into two big chunks, haven't we? First, we're going to dig into what the source calls building a magnetic website. This is all the groundwork, making your site so appealing, so valuable, so trustworthy, that when people do find it, they stick around, maybe even come back, creating that irresistible digital space. Then, once that's solid, we switch gears. We look at the outreach playbook. That's the proactive stuff. Actively going out and finding those first-time visitors using all sorts of free channels. It's a two-step thing. Build the magnet, then show people the way to it. Okay, so before we even think about getting people there, before we tweet anything or worry about Google, we got to tackle the big one. Why would someone want to stay or even come back? This first section, and the source really hammers this home. It's all about building that inherently attractive, valuable, easy-to-use online presence. This is the foundation. Get this wrong, and all that traffic you might generate later, it'll just bounce right off. A total waste.
Oh, it's absolutely fundamental. The source is crystal clear. Internet users, they're very cheesy.
Yeah.
And it's not just about looking pretty in a general sense. It's about looking right for your audience. The aesthetics, that's the first handshake. It forms an immediate judgment in like milliseconds. We're talking everything. Colors, eye-friendly themes that set the right mood, fonts easy to read, not straining, the whole layout. And these aren't just random choices. The source stresses they must depend on the expected audience or visitors of the site. You got to think about age, gender, race, amongst other factors. So, a site for teens, maybe bright colors, cool fonts. A site for financial advice, probably more muted, professional, trustworthy colors and classic fonts. Getting that match right builds instant credibility.
That's a really key distinction, isn't it? It's not about your taste. It's about understanding who you're talking to, what looks right to them, which means doing your homework on your audience even before you pick a template.
Exactly. And, this brings up a good point. How has this whole web design thing changed? Because maybe you're thinking, oh, I need to hire some expensive designer. Well, traditionally, yeah, you probably did. Developers were the gatekeepers. Complex stuff. But now, platforms like Blogger, WordPress, they've totally changed the game. Democratized it, really. They empower you, the site owner, the business owner, to design, to edit, drag and drop tons of themes. You have way more control now over that crucial first impression without needing a developer for every little change. It puts the power in your hands.
And the payoff for getting that attractive look right. The source says it's more than just looking good. It makes users more likely to continue using it and avoid other related websites that might not be attractive. It builds that trust, that professionalism right off the bat. And when the competition is just one click away, well, that visual appeal can be the make or break factor, stay or bounce. Okay, so it looks good. But then, how easy is it to actually use? That's navigability, right? Moving around, finding stuff. The source is blunt here. Users want info with little or no struggles at all, and fast. The amount of time possible. Nobody wants to feel lost. Clicking around, dead ends, hunting for the contact page. That's just frustrating. People will leave. quickly.
Oh, absolutely. User-friendliness is king. And the source gives some really practical tips here. Simple stuff, but effective. Like using descriptive icons alongside written instructions in your menus. A little house icon for home, a shopping cart for checkout. Visual cues, they help people understand faster. And interestingly, the strategic use of pop-up windows. Now, hang on before you groan. The source isn't talking about those awful aggressive sales pop-ups. It means using them sparingly, maybe to act as reminders. Like a little reminder about a new feature, or maybe the cookie banner, or a newsletter sign up. Helpful nudges, not annoying roadblocks. And if you zoom out a bit, this focus on easy navigation, it's not just about being nice, it's about respect. Respecting the user's time, their attention. Those are precious online,
Yeah.
super precious. In today's internet, it's flooded with options. If your site makes finding something even a tiny bit hard or slow, poof, they're gone. They'll find it somewhere else, probably your competitor. So an easy to navigate site, clear layout, it tells the user you value their time. It's built for them. That builds loyalty. It encourages them to come back. It's essential for keeping the traffic you get.
Okay, looks good, easy to use. But what about the actual words, the text on the page? Because, as the source points out, even the most beautiful, easy-to-navigate site can fall flat if the content isn't clear and professional. It needs to be legible, and the language easy to understand. It's not just having content, it's making it accessible, effortlessly.
Spot on. The language is so important. Professionalism matters, definitely. But the source warns against getting too clever. It says, the use of complex languages and terms might not be very friendly to most internet users. It's easy to slip into jargon, especially if you're an expert in something. You forget that your audience might not know all the technical terms. The goal, make it easily understood by users of different calibers. Simplify, explain things clearly, write concisely. Think about your average visitor. Are you speaking their language or putting up a barrier? And then there's something the source is really, really emphatic about. Cannot stress this enough. Grammar errors must be avoided by all means. Might seem small, right? A typo here, a misplaced comma there. But the impact, huge. Why? Because those little mistakes create a negative opinion regarding the legitimacy of products or services. People start thinking, well, if they can't even get the spelling right, what else are they getting wrong? It makes users shun such websites. It instantly damages your credibility, even if your actual product is amazing. So this raises a really important question for you listeners. How often do you really proofread your stuff? Before you hit publish on that blog post, that product description, that final check, it's non-negotiable. It's a free way to maintain trust, absolutely vital.
We've covered the wrapper, basically. Looks good, easy to use, clear language. But now, maybe the most important part, the actual thing you're offering. What are you selling? What information are you providing? Is there actually a demand for it? Because the source says you have to carry out a comprehensive research. You need to understand buyer behavior, pull factors, and customer decision-making process. It's not just about what you want to sell. It's about what people actually want or need.
This is so foundational for getting traffic that sticks around. It's all about matching the market. Market alignment. The source hammers this. Stay updated on the trending goods and services in your niche. Know what's hot, what's not. The biggest mistake. Failing to align their products or services to the market niche if nobody wants what you're offering, or if it's outdated, or if everyone else is doing it better, then all the fancy design and promotion in the world won't save you. The source insists. Research that demand before you launch. Is there a real need? A real desire? It's crucial. Check search trends, spy on competitors, ask people, look at social media chatter, find the gaps, find the pain points. And I love this analogy the source uses. The crowded supermarket. It says, people prefer waiting in long queues in crowded supermarkets to shopping in empty ones. Isn't that interesting? Think about how that translates online. High demand for what's on your site. That actually draws more traffic. Why? Social proof. People want to be where the action is. They want what others find valuable. If your site feels busy, if people are talking about your stuff, if there's a buzz, it creates this pull. We're drawn to popularity, to success. It becomes a cycle, right? Value attracts demand. Demand attracts visitors. More visitors signal more value. It reinforces itself.
So what's the big takeaway here from making that magnetic website? It means that the core value, your products, your services, your amazing content, that's the ultimate traffic generator in the long run. If you offer something genuinely valuable, something people are actively looking for, something that solves a real problem, it creates this powerful self-feeding loop. Visits, shares, recommendations, organic growth, all these things we've talked about. The looks, the ease of use, the clear words, and crucially, the real value they make your site a place people want to find and want to return to. Okay, foundationally, your website is awesome. It's valuable, welcoming, easy to use. It's ready. So the next big challenge, how do we get people to it, especially for the first time? This section is all about being proactive. the outreach, what our source calls the rigorous, gradual, and slow but sure process of internet marketing. Time to open the playbook and start actively attracting visitors.
And where do you start that playbook? Search engines. No question. I mean, think about it. When you need something, online info, a product, anything, where's the first place you go? For most of us, almost automatically, it's a search engine. And let's be specific. For the vast majority of the planet, that means Google. Our source states it flat out. Google holds over 70% of the search engine market share. It's so dominant that, yeah, people often just say Google when they mean search engine. They're almost interchangeable in common use. So if you're serious about free traffic, ignoring Google, not really an option. It's where the biggest crowd is.
Right. So the objective is clear, even if it's tough. Making a website appear on the first page of Google. We all know this from our own searching, don't we? How often do you really click to page 2? Page 3? Almost never, right? That first page gets almost all the clicks. Being on page 1 is huge. Being anywhere else is, well, pretty much invisible.
And the competition for those top spots, it's fierce, absolutely fierce. What's fascinating is how you compete now. To rank high, the source stresses your content, your products, services, articles. You must always ensure that they have great content. But great content isn't just about stuffing keywords in anymore. Google's way smarter than that now. The source implies it's about real value, originality, depth. Answering the user's question better than anyone else. Is your content comprehensive, well-researched, up-to-date? Does it really solve the user's problem? You need to be the best answer. That's what the algorithms are looking for. Quality, authority. That's what gets rewarded.
Okay, Google is king. Got it. But the source also says, hey, don't forget the others, like Bing and Yahoo. They might be minor compared to Google, but the source makes a good point. Even the few matter. Every visitor is a win when it's free traffic, right? And those other search engines, they do add up.
They absolutely do. And getting visibility there involves a slightly different process. You need to register your site with Bing Webmaster Tools. Think of it like Google Search Console, but for Bing, and since Bing powers Yahoo search mostly, it covers Yahoo too. These tools are free. You submit your sitemap like a map of your site, see how they're indexing you, spot errors, see what keywords people use on Bing Yahoo to find you. It's your dashboard for those engines. But here's a unique twist the source highlights for Bing and Yahoo. They always take into close consideration the number of Facebook likes and tweets to a page. So being active and getting engagement on Facebook and Twitter seems to directly help your rankings on Bing and Yahoo. That's an interesting difference from Google's typical signals. So connecting this all together, optimizing for all three, Google, Bing, Yahoo, it just casts a wider net, doesn't it? The traffic from Bing or Yahoo might seem small next to Google's fire hose, but combined. The source says it can still result into a large number of internet users who visit a website on a daily basis. You're just making sure you catch everyone who's searching for what you offer, no matter which search engine they happen to prefer. Maximize your free reach.
Okay, so search engines are huge. But what else? The source talks about strategically amplifying your content, using audiences that already exist somewhere else. First up is this find and pull tactic. The source calls it perhaps the easiest mechanism. Sounds good. Like borrowing someone else's audience smartly.
Yeah, it's a really efficient approach. It's about identifying popular blogs and a specific niche blogs that already have the audience you want. And then the clever part. Strategically drawing the existing traffic on these blogs back to a blog or web page on your site. The steps are pretty straightforward, but you need to do it right. You use something like Google Alerts, fantastic free tool, by the way. Set it up to tell you when new posts pop up on topics you care about. When you get an alert for a relevant post on a popular blog, you go read it, understand it. Then you write a comprehensive and helpful comment. Not just great post, but something substantial that adds to the discussion. Now, here's the crucial part the source points out. In that comment, you link to your related post, not just your main blog page. So you link his or her related post instead of name or blog homepage. And this raises that key question. Why a specific post? Because people reading that popular blog, they're already interested in that specific topic. They want more info on that subject. If your comment provides extra value and links directly to your article that dives deeper into that same topic, boom, click. You're providing immediate relevant value within the conversation. It's helpful, not spammy. And that's how you pull that existing traffic over to discover your site.
All right, that's clever. What else? The source mentions another platform, kind of a community thing, viral content buzz. Sounds intriguing. How does this one work for getting free traffic? Is that like social sharing?
It is, but with a specific structure. VCB is described as a place where competent bloggers and people from varied niches come together and share quality content. The core idea is reciprocity, give and take. The more you like and subsequently promote contents written by others using your own social media, like Twitter or Facebook, the more credits or visibility you earn within the VCB system for your own content. So others in the community are then incentivized to share your stuff. VCB itself monitors the participation on social media platforms to manage this credit system and help expose good content to people who are actively looking to share relevant stuff. It's like a sharing co-op. And, natural worry these days is fake accounts, bots, scams. The source actually addresses this. It says VCB works hard at thoroughly checking every social media profile in order to ascertain their authenticity. They want real profiles with genuine followers. This is pretty important, right? It means the sharing that happens is more likely to be authentic, reaching real people. It fosters a mutually beneficial association. The goal is for good information to genuinely go viral through this network of real, engaged people sharing each other's quality work. Drives real eyeballs back to your site.
Okay, interesting. Then there's something that feels a bit more, maybe old school, Azine articles. Submitting articles to directories like yazinearticles.com, Go Articles, Article Dashboard. Does that stuff still work? How does it generate traffic now?
According to the source, yes, it can still be quite helpful, but, and this is a big but, you have to do it right. It's not just dumping content. There are specific requirements mentioned. First, you need actual proficient knowledge. You gotta know your stuff, demonstrate expertise. Second, absolutely proper English and perfect grammar. No excuses. Readers there are choosy, the source says, and bad writing kills credibility instantly. And here's a key detail. Keep them short and precise. Like 300 words, maybe 500 max. Why so short? The source is refreshingly honest. Long articles are boring, and readers may not read them to the last word, where writers' URLs are always embedded. So get to the point, provide value quickly, and make it easy for them to find and click your link, which is usually in the author bio at the end. What's also fascinating and absolutely crucial for Essenes is the demand for unique contents. No plagiarism, zero tolerance. The source explicitly states all Ezine websites have plagiarism checker software. They will catch you if you just copy-paste. If you are referencing existing stuff, you absolutely must change the content in a manner that retains its original meaning but changes its writing style and format. It needs to be a fresh take, your own words. These Ezine sites, they often have decent traffic themselves. They're seen as info hubs. So by contributing good, concise, original articles with your link, you tap into their existing audience and funnel interested readers directly to your site. It's another way to leverage an established platform.
All right, moving beyond just content and social stuff, the source talks about platform integration, meeting people where they already hang out online, maybe in less obvious places. And it kicks off with something I wasn't expecting, the Chrome Web Store, calling it an untapped goldmine, really, the App Store for Chrome.
Yeah, it sounds a bit surprising, doesn't it? But the source calls it perhaps the easiest source of massive traffic that has not been exploited to its full potential. And the appeal, it's free and it offers immediate returns, which kind of goes against the usual traffic is slow narrative sometimes. How does it work? Pretty simply, actually. When you add your site, often as a simple app or shortcut, to the Chrome Web Store, it can get listed on the home page of Chrome, like the new tab page for many users. It's not about search, it's about direct visibility inside the browser environment itself. And think about how many people use Chrome. It dominates the browser market, right? Plus all its mobile versions on Android and even Windows phones. That means Chrome itself has massive traffic just flowing through it constantly. By having your site listed in its web store, you're essentially putting a direct link right in front of potentially millions of active users when they open their browser. It's almost like free advertising space, directly driving people who are already online to your site. A very direct, potentially high-volume, passive traffic source.
Okay, Chrome Store. Interesting. But then there's a really big one. The absolute giant in the room, mobile. The source nails it. Phones easily fit into their pockets. Internet access is easy and cheap. For so many people, the phone is the internet. This isn't just a side thing anymore, is it? It's central. How we must think about websites now.
Oh, completely central. Ignore mobile at your peril. Businesses that get this are reaping huge rewards. Creating a mobile phone version of a website is baseline now. Why? Because, as the source states, people access the internet more times through their mobile phones than they do through any other platform. Fact. And it's not just making your desktop site shrink, it means optimizing for mobile. Fast loading, touch-friendly buttons and links, readable text without pinching and zooming, simple navigation. If you use WordPress, loads of plugins help with this WP Touch, Elementor's built-in stuff. If not, there are services, tons of online tutorials on responsive responsive design. Point is, your site has to work flawlessly, be genuinely easy to use on that device people carry everywhere. But the source pushes it further than just a mobile-friendly site. It talks about dedicated apps, creating a Windows or Android app for the website and publish it on Google Play Store or the Amazon Store. And check the stat the source drops. Over 1,300,000 new mobile subscribers that use Android or Windows phones on a daily basis. Whoa, that's a lot of new potential app users every single day. And with an app, users who download it can get automated notifications. Think about that power. New products, sales, new content pushed right to their phone. So connecting the dots here, apps build serious customer loyalty. Those notifications keep you top of mind. It's a direct channel. You're right there on their home screen. It makes apps a potentially really fruitful mechanism of attracting massive traffic because it fosters repeat engagement like almost nothing else. It's a direct line, ensuring your audience sees your updates, building that habit of checking in. That's powerful free traffic generation, keeping existing users coming back automatically.
Right, we can't possibly talk free traffic without hitting social media hard. The source says 9 out of 10 people have social media accounts. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, LinkedIn. You name it. That's not just a number. That's a significant volume of traffic waiting to happen. It's like the giant digital town square, the water cooler where everyone gathers.
Perfect analogy. It's where the conversations are. And to tap into it effectively, the source says the key is simple: being active. Well, that means always being available to comment on, like, and share contents posted by other social media users. It's not just about shouting your own stuff, it's interaction, engagement. By doing that consistently, you build a reputation. You become part of the community. You might even become, as the source puts it, a famous figure in your niche. That builds trust, influence, and that naturally leads people to check out your website. How do you promote your stuff directly? Well, you can share webpage URLs on their timelines directly, obviously, if you have followers. But another tactic, especially starting out, is to comment on other users' posts and paste their links at the end of the comments. But, and this is crucial, only when it's genuinely relevant and adds value. Don't be spammy. This links back to what the source calls the two-way traffic idea. When you share and comment on other people's posts, the more these users will be willing to share and comment on your own posts. Give value, get value. It's reciprocal.
And the platforms themselves offer free tools, right? Like Facebook is famous for its provision that allows users to create other pages, business pages, basically. Free storefronts, free places to build an audience. Twitter has the whole tweet and retweet mechanism, which can just explode the reach of a message through your network. These aren't just chat rooms. They're marketing platforms if you use them right.
Exactly. And what underpins all of this, the core idea, is building a social media presence, becoming that common figure as a result of his or her regular activities. Consistency, authenticity, genuine engagement. It's not about one viral hit. It's about showing up day after day, providing value, joining conversations, building real connections. When you become that trusted voice, that recognized face in your online community, people naturally follow you. And they'll follow you back to your website. That creates a steady, ongoing stream of free traffic.
Okay, let's get into some slightly more advanced techniques. Stuff beyond the everyday basics. First, guest posting. We hear about this a lot, but the source makes a really important clarification. Guest posting is not all about posting links that will directly point to a specific website. In fact, just dropping links without thinking. That may anger the editors, which is, not a good outcome. You could get kicked off.
Precisely. It's not about link spamming someone else's site. The source lays out a much smarter, longer-term game for getting a stable flow of free traffic this way. It actually says, first of all, forget everything to do with guest posting links. Initially, anyway. That sounds weird, right? But the real first step is relationship building. You need to create a good rapport with these editors, the people running the relevant high-traffic sites in your field. How? Connect with them through social media platforms, engage with their content, share their stuff, comment thoughtfully, build a genuine professional connection over time. So why this slow burn approach? Because, the source argues, only after a rapport has been created should you even think about pitching a guest post. By then, the editor knows you, hopefully respects your input, sees you as a potential contributor, not just some random person wanting a link. Then, when you pitch, the key is presenting ideas that are relevant to the niche audience available on the website. It has to be valuable for their readers. You're contributing great original content for them. The traffic back to your site via your author bio, maybe a natural link in the text, is the byproduct of providing that value. It's relationship marketing leading to high-quality, relevant traffic.
Okay, relationship building for guest posts makes sense. What else? Oh yeah, keeping your content fresh. The source calls this the secret of maintaining existing traffic and drawing more traffic. It's about remaining relevant and fresh all the time. And it makes intuitive sense, doesn't it? Nobody wants old news. People shun anything that is considered old-fashioned. Stale website, turn off.
It's so true, and the benefits are huge. Fresh content keeps your loyal visitors coming back. The source notes, most web users like to associate themselves with current information. They want the latest scoop, so they always come back to check if new information has been posted. Creates that return habit. Plus, new stuff gets shared more. It encourages more social media mentions. People share timely info. And critically for search engines, it makes Google and others crawl to these websites more often. They see activity, they see updates, they index you more frequently, keeps you visible. It tells everyone, users and algorithms, that your site is alive, active, relevant, a go-to source. But connecting this to practical reality, it takes discipline, right? You can't just update whenever you feel like it. The source stresses having a comprehensive publishing schedule and sticking to it, strict adherence. It's not a build it and forget it thing. It's ongoing. Weekly posts, monthly updates, regular new features, whatever fits your niche. That consistency is key. It's the lifeblood, keeping that free traffic flowing, both new visitors and returning ones.
Okay, fresh content, vital. Now here's a really interesting one. Bit of a mind bender. Becoming a case study for another website. Usually we want testimonials about us, right? Praising our stuff. Social proof. This flips it. You praise them.
Yeah, it's a clever reverse strategy. The idea is if you genuinely use a product or service from another company in your niche, maybe even a competitor, and you find it really helpful. The source says, write testimonials about these products and services. Be public about your positive experience. And it makes this bold claim. Nothing is more important than to see a competitor writing positive comments about your products and services. Think about the impact that has. For one, it encourages reciprocity. That other company might notice, appreciate it, maybe highlight your business in return someday. But maybe more importantly, it signals something powerful to the wider market. It shows genuine and competitive behavior. Potential customers, the source suggests, see this positive interaction and have a sense of association instilled in them. They see businesses competing fairly professionally, not just tearing each other down. In a world that can be pretty cutthroat online, showing that kind of maturity, that confidence, it makes your brand look really good, trustworthy, professional. That positive perception, that demonstration of integrity can actually draw enormous and constant traffic because people are attracted to brands that operate ethically and competitively. It's subtle reputation building that pays off.
Okay, that's a cool psychological play. Now for something called slipstream drafting. Sounds very technical. The source uses that racing analogy, just like the drivers in racing sports do. The car behind uses the lead car's draft to save energy. Less air resistance. How does that apply to getting website visitors for free?
It's a fantastic analogy for leveraging existing momentum. So imagine a competitor, or maybe a big industry news site, publishes something that gets wide coverage. It's trending. Everyone's talking about it. Instead of feeling jealous or left out, the source says other competitors should not feel bad about it, but instead use it to their advantage. Don't fight the trend, ride its wake. How? The trick is to redefine the existing content in a unique way, but retain the meaning. You take that hot topic, that trending news, and you create your own content around it. Maybe you offer a different perspective, a deeper analysis, more examples. Maybe target it to a specific niche the original article missed. What's brilliant here is the efficiency. That topic. It's already proven popular. The audience interest is already there. So as the source says, less effort will be used to find audience. You're tapping into existing buzz. It's all about rewriting existing content and adding more value to it. Maybe you create an infographic based on their data or a checklist or apply their general advice to your specific industry. You're driving traffic by offering a valuable, fresh take on news or information that is trending but has not reached a certain niche. You use their initial push to propel your own content forward. Smart.
Wow, slipstreaming. Cool concept. Okay, finally, something super simple, but maybe easily missed. Email signatures. The source just lays it out. People have always failed to see the significance of including relevant links in their email signatures. Seems so basic, right?
It does seem basic, and yet think about the volume. Businesses, individuals. We send numerous mails to their clients and other stakeholders on a daily basis. Hundreds, thousands of emails a year sometimes. Each one is a tiny opportunity. And the source has this great line about users being lazy but needy. Maybe efficient is kinder. Point is, people prefer things easy. They want URLs just a click away. They're not likely to go searching for your site if they just read your email. But if there's a clear, simple link right there in your signature to your homepage, your latest blog post, a key service page, .click, every single email becomes a potential traffic source, passive promotion. And connecting this to the bigger picture, it's just constant, effortless brand visibility working for you 24/7. You set it up once, takes like 5 minutes in Gmail or Outlook, and then just works every single time you hit send. The source even mentions how modern email clients can sync contacts linked to social media, amplifying the potential reach even further. It might seem small, one click here, one click there, but multiply that by the sheer number of emails sent. It adds up to a consistent, free trickle or even stream of visitors over time. Don't underestimate the simple stuff. #tag outro.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground today. A whole toolkit of free methods of drawing massive traffic, everything from the absolute fundamentals, making your website magnetic with great design, easy navigation, clear language, real value, all the way through to proactive outreach. Search engines, social media, leveraging other blogs, e-zines, Chrome Store, mobile apps, even those clever competitor strategies like testimonials and slipstreaming and email signatures. It really drives home the point that getting traffic, getting visibility, it isn't just about spending money.
Not at all. And that source, free web traffic made simple.pdf, really emphasizes that dual approach, doesn't it? First, build a destination worth visiting. Make it valuable. Make it work for the user. That's the magnet. Then deploy these smart, often gradual strategies to bring people to it. Internet marketing, like the source says, it's often a slow but sure process. It takes that patience, that consistency, that willingness to try different things and see what works for you. But the potential for free, organic growth, it's huge.
So what's the bottom line for you listening right now? It really means that getting lots of web traffic doesn't have to mean having lots of budget. It's much more about being clever, being consistent, understanding how people behave online, putting in the work. The free tools, the strategies, they're out there, they're accessible, but they require your time, your brain power, and that long-term view. It's about outthinking, not just outspending.
Exactly. Which leads me to a final thought, something for you to chew on. We've talked about all these individual strategies today, drawing from our source. But the internet, it's always changing, always evolving. So how could you combine 2, maybe 3 of these free techniques in a new way? A way that wasn't explicitly laid out, but uses the core ideas. What happens when you blend the efficiency of slipstream drafting with the direct engagement of mobile app notifications? Or use strategic guest posting, not just for links, but to kickstart a viral content buzz on a platform like VCB? Where could you find that synergy, that unique combination to create your own powerful, self-sustaining free traffic engine? That's where the really exciting potential might lie.